Late Show here on the CBS television network. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight is a former Prime Minister of New Zealand who has just written a new memoir called A Different Kind of Power. Please welcome back to The Late Show, the Right Honorable Dame Jacinda Ardern. Nice to see you again. Thanks. Lovely to see you again. I always like talking to you.
So lovely to see you.
We actually shipped in a couple of Kiwis, actually, to be with you tonight, just to make you feel at home.
And the rest are all honorary New Zealanders.
Oh, hoping I can include myself in that.
Yeah, of course.
Sure, in case I need to get down there real quick someday.
You know.
Gosh, it's been a little bit since we've had you on the show. Thanks for being here. We want to talk about the new book here, A Different Kind of Power.
Thank you.
But before we do that, I heard it was your and your husband Clark's anniversary this past weekend. Is that true?
It's true.
How did you celebrate?
I forgot.
Did he forget?
No. In fact, I'm starting to believe that he takes some joy and satisfaction in me forgetting. So he literally rolled over. It would have been more than 6:30 in the morning, rolled over, and I was facing the wall, and this arm comes over and there's a card. He puts it right in front of my face and whispers, "Happy anniversary, my love."
That's someone who wants to win the anniversary.
And the fact that he says nothing about it, nothing in advance, doesn't say what should we do, he just presents the card of victory in front of my face.
Well, so for the people who may not have kept entirely up to date, 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago, 2023 or 22,
yeah.
You resigned?
23.
In 23, you resigned as Prime Minister of New Zealand. What's life been like since then, since you are not the leader of one of the Five Eyes?
It's a simpler life. I've been at Harvard. I've had a fellowship, so I've been in Cambridge for a little while, which has been wonderful. I still do work on climate. I still do work on light subjects like violent extremism online.
Oh, sure.
And I still do work on leadership, including writing a book. So it's been great.
Do you miss anything about being Prime Minister? I imagine it's a tough gig.
It is a tough gig, but it is, every day you're reminded of what a privilege it is. And I miss home as well. I do miss home. You've been there.
I love New Zealand.
It's the most wonderful place.
Yes.
Again, and once you're an ambassador, you're always an ambassador. Visit New Zealand. It's one flight from New York, direct to Auckland.
It's one 17-hour flight from New York.
But it's just the one flight.
But it's just one flight. You can watch all 3 extended versions of The Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely.
And then when you land, you're ready to go.
Yeah. So
you understand it. You've been living in Massachusetts with Clark and your daughter.
Yes.
Are there any similarities between Bostonians, which are very distinct type of Americans, distinct as a compliment? Bostonians and Kiwis? Is there anything you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in Arizona. I lived briefly in New York, and now obviously the time in Boston. It is probably the place where I find myself most easily understood. You park the car.
Yeah.
You're wicked smart. There's just a little similarity. But also really, this is a massive generalization, but really kind, pragmatic, good sorts, as we'd say in New Zealand. Good
exactly.
sorts.
And also in Boston, they don't like you to get above yourself.
No, or make any error on the roads. I think they call it, that's when people turn into mass holes, I think they say.
The mass holes.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that
Can't
on
wait
here?
to say that. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Your daughter, who's 6 now, I believe, how does she like America?
There's lots of things that she misses home, but she really enjoys the dollar store.
Oh, yeah?
Big fan, massive
Sure.
fan.
Just gotta let her graze in there.
She does believe there's been some inflation lately. She thinks there are,
Yes?
well, she thinks there are more things in the $3 category now than the $1 category, and she's
Oh, wow.
very upset about that.
So she's gonna grow up to be an economist.
I don't know.
Well, in this memoir, once again, a different kind of power. We're all familiar here from watching the news of how people exercise power and how people want power and will do almost anything to get a certain type of power. What is the different type of power you're talking about in your book here?
It's actually got a little bit of a dual meaning for me. On the face of it, it's the obvious thing that, we have choices in leadership, particularly in politics. When you're in times of crisis, when you're in times when people have fear and uncertainty, you can either weaponize that, you can either try and appeal to people by using fear and blame, or you can actually tackle the issues that are genuinely affecting people's lives, and you can do it with a people-centered approach that has kindness and empathy, and strength and courage and resilience as well. Because I do think those two things can go together.
So I do think they can go together too.
But there's a little hidden extra layer in it as well, that you can also be someone that suffers a little bit of imposter syndrome or self-doubt.
Or do you have that?
Oh yeah, spades.
Yes.
Spades.
Have you always
This is
had
quite
that?
a terrifying experience that you're joining me with.
Would you be out here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, these are the nicest people in the world.
They're lovely. This is a lovely audience, but you're Stephen Colbert and you're a little bit of a big deal where I come from.
Oh, am I really?
Yeah,
That's why I like it down there.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Jacinda Ardern, everybody. Stick around.